Anybody watching the recording, I'm sitting here waiting for others to join. Scanning old photos. Scanning old photos, and my wife is behind me listening to Lo-Fi Girl. So if you hear a little music, that's what that is. Got this nice photo scanner. Had enough. Somebody's messaging me. Let's see. The link to join our meetup. There it is. Slack. There we go. I think I actually posted the Zoom link before. Yep, same as always. Copy, paste. Look at that. There it is. All right. More scanning while we wait for people.
Hello,
Hey, how's it going?
Simple. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm floating. It's
I was gonna be late, but I'm the first one here.
yeah, yeah. I think I don't know if Eric would be coming, but I do know that at least Luke said that he would be on his way. I went to the East Coast or the Eastern Time meetup earlier today. It was a slightly different format. They actually had a presentation deck and things like that that they kind of went through. Then they did a demo of Git workspaces or Git workflow. It's one of those two things. But the idea of like instead of like if you're like in the middle of doing a bug ticket or a feature or something like that, and then all of a sudden you need to change something, you don't stash, you just switch to a different workspace, and all your DDev stuffs can sync with it, and suddenly you're working on a completely different ticket, and then you can switch back.
Oh,
It was
that
pretty
sounds
cool.
interesting.
Yeah. The secret that the guy found was in DDev, the YAML file has a name at the very top of the file, and if you literally remove that name, then that has some sort of impact on how this Git workspace or workflow functions. So you can switch between environments without messing things up. I don't know. That was like the secret sauce.
That's interesting. They show that sounds like a good DevOps presentation for the summit.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be actually really solid. I um I did ask them a few things at the very beginning. I didn't stay for the whole meetup because I had to go get food before our meetup. Um, I asked them how the Chattanooga camp went because if you recall, like in some previous conversation, perhaps somebody said something about, "Hey, how did Chattanooga go?" Because they just opened up beyond Drupal. What did they do? Um, and they just kept it focused on open source. They actually have a good domain name called like Open Source Camp or something like that, and they even offered to say, "Hey, if you want to host like a subdomain or a subfolder for your event here, there's space for it and it's already set up." So, an idea if the PNW Drupal Summit is confusing to people who aren't Drupal. Um, but I asked them, did they limit it to just PHP, or were they worried about including things like Python or Ruby? And they said, oh no, we invited the Python people and the Ruby people, and the Ruby people, like, none of them wanted to come, and the Python people were interested, but they didn't really do much.
Hmm,
So I don't think it's a concern. I still think being welcoming and keeping the focus on open source web technologies is still a good idea.
yeah. As long as you have something related to open source.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like who who is actively learning Ruby right now?
No idea.
Like it's gone the way of like Fortran and COBOL or Visual Basic. Like nobody's learning Ruby right now.
All right. For a moment it seemed like the language to learn, and everyone was hiring Ruby developers. And
Yeah, like Cold Fusion for quite a long while, and then Cold Fusion kind of went away.
then suddenly, yeah, I haven't heard of Ruby in a while actually. But
Yeah, I
PHP
mean,
is still relevant.
it was all the rage for a while. Who is it? Evolving Web. They use Redmine. Redmine? No,
Okay.
is it? Maybe it is Redmine. It's a Ruby based, like it's
Yeah,
kind of
I
like
know.
Jira, but not definitely not like
Yeah,
Jira.
I know Redmine. I've used it before.
But they use that not only for their project management, they also use it for time tracking. So a lot of agencies use like Harvest or something like that. No, they use Redmine for all of that. It was really weird at first. It was like stepping back in time 10 years.
Yeah, it's a blast from the past. I just brought it up, and the screenshots are bringing back memories.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane. But I mean, I get it. If it's open source and it works, I can't really argue with that. One
Yeah.
one company I worked with back in Rhode Island in like the early, no, the mid 2000s, they used Redmine for a while just for the development side of things, and then they used Basecamp for all the client stuff. So it was like a divided workflow, no matter what.
We used to, at my first agency when I moved to Canada, we used to use this thing called Active Collab. And
I've never heard of Active Collab.
it's yet another project management, time tracking, kind of all in one.
It's who's vying for attention sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like I know there's like, was it Mondays is one that I've seen pop up. Some folks
They
will use
really
Asana.
wanted they really wanted one thing to do everything. Basically, they didn't want to pay for uh, separate stuff.
Oh, I tried Odoo, and I was trying to use it as a replacement for FreshBooks as a contractor, for my own time tracking and billing and invoicing. It was way too much for that. Like as a project management tool, it wasn't too bad, but
Yeah,
every interface is identical. It kind of reminded me of like, I don't know, like Sugar CRM or something like that.
pretty much.
But I
But
mean, I can see how it might work in a kind of a narrow band, but you know when you experience bad user experience
yeah,
when you've had better experiences.
that's the thing. I
What
don't
else?
recognize it anymore. I'm looking at the screenshots that they have, and this is not what I was using before.
What Redmine or Active?
Active Collab.
Yeah,
We were using Basecamp as well at some point.
yeah. I've used several versions of that. Oh, Teamwork. I've used Teamwork. Teamwork wasn't too bad from a UX standpoint, but it definitely hit its walls. Teamwork, I think, is very similar to Asana. I do like that Asana is very cross-platform and it's not too heavy. Um, I did talk to them also about some of their conversations with university students, things like that.
Mhm.
Most of the university students, as far as like web technology goes, they're mostly focused on JavaScript. Like that's the thing, which is admittedly not too surprising. But like then I scratch my head. I'm like, but what about the backend for any of this? Then I'm like, oh shoot, you could write the backend in pretty much whatever you want at that point. Just expose it an endpoint and
Yeah,
connect to stuff through JavaScript.
you have Node.js. I'm pretty sure they can write a backend with JavaScript. Whether you
Yeah.
should do it or not is another conversation. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it depends on what you're writing. I mean, you could still do things in like raw PHP if it's really nimble, or if you don't even want to do any of that at all, you could just write it in C++ and have a data connection if it really needs to be that bare to the bones.
yeah. Hello, looking car.
Oh, he's driving.
Yeah.
Just don't text while you're driving, Luke. There he is.
Yeah, I just got to my car, so I'm going to be lurking, but I'm going to turn off the mute and camera
Oh, no
and,
worries,
until
no
I,
worries.
until I get somewhere safe.
Yeah, I think I wanted to keep our meetup here light, so even if it's not too many people that show up, um, I was trying to think of an appropriate year-ending topic. We've had a lot of topics, but I wasn't expecting too many people to show up.
No, yeah, this is the last meetup
Yeah,
of the year. Yeah,
yeah, it's a weird time of year for a lot of people.
going
Either
to
you have nothing to do or you're so busy it's crazy.
yeah.
Um, so I thought maybe it would be good to talk about, well, what in the world is coming up for Drupal in 2026? What do we expect? Any predictions? Any plans? That sort of thing. And then if we have time, maybe also talk about the whole PNW Summit thing.
Well, maybe Canvas will finally get a stable release.
I I think we were all hoping for a stable release with the Experience Builder when it was on that namespace.
Yeah,
Then they kind of had their reset after that. I think when DrupalCon Vienna came along, they at least already had a release candidate before then.
yep.
I've seen a few release candidates since then, and I guess Drupal CMS has incorporated Canvas at this point, which
Yeah, it's on
is good.
RC5. Well, the last update said that the 1.0 will be released tomorrow. So let's see.
Right after our meetup, so
Yep,
we can take bets. I think there are a lot of betting apps that might be willing to take our money.
yep. But I don't know. I feel it's still way off from being usable.
Yeah,
I don't know, because I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm dealing with a lot of multilingual sites and sites that require content moderation.
yeah, yeah.
And if
That makes
you,
sense.
I can maybe live without the multilingual piece for a while, but I don't know if I can convince anyone to use it if it doesn't have moderation.
Well, the core function of Drupal is to be a content management system.
Yeah,
If you're kind of rendering a lot of parts of that content management system ineffective because you're using a page layout tool, then it's not really done. It's not ready for that platform.
that's where my PV is
Yeah.
basically because it's gonna launch with AI features.
Oh
Did it
God.
need to launch with AI features? Are AI features more important for a content management system than multilingual or workflows?
Probably not, but it's the checkbox for all the marketing staff. Have we done it? AI has truly become the modern day example of grabbing a hammer and finding a nail absolutely everywhere. It's
Yeah,
like,
basically.
but what are you doing? What groundbreaking problem does this AI solve for you and your organization? How does it save you money? How does it achieve your objectives? It Leading with a solution is always a bad idea, in my opinion. Which doesn't mean that like it doesn't have a place. I worked with a company that was trying to help people with like neurological disorders and things like that. So like healthcare related. and they had all these really complicated intake forms, which is the hardest like use case when it comes to user experience planning and design. Then trying to find technical solutions for how to like ease that burden. You've got a mother with an autistic kid screaming in their ear while they're trying to fill out this form. So we need to make it as gentle as possible. We need to make it help them along. So we looked at AI solutions to try to help them answer questions, to categorize things with taxonomy, to give helpful descriptions based on the input that they were giving. And this was 2.5 years ago. Like when AI was like kind of starting to show its like ramping up sort of thing in technology. I was impressed with those sort of use cases because it was actually showing very decent results. I'm always skeptical. Like I always say, this needs heavy testing to prove that it's not going to hurt people.
Yeah.
So to me, like if you're using it for pharmaceuticals or studying protein folding, like AI by itself doesn't hurt anything, but shoehorning it into a solution just because you want to say that you built AI in it is not, it's just not enough.
Yeah. I mean, their feature is like, okay, I describe the component and then it will go build a single directory component for me.
Yeah.
But then if I can't get anyone to use Canvas in the first place because it doesn't support moderation or multilingual,
Yeah, you're solving the wrong problem first.
the ability to create a component is useless to me since
Yeah.
I cannot sell that tool to anyone.
Yeah, yeah. It's much more simplified. I feel like it's a thin client. It's a very narrow use case.
Oh, well. That's my pet peeves with Canvas. But we'll get there.
Well, it's good to have bones to pick. Hey, Eric, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
You stay for the whole Eastern time zone meeting? Or?
No, I left after about 40 minutes
Yeah.
because I had to go get food. Actually, our refrigerator died a day ago.
Oh no. So what do you say when someone calls and is like, is your refrigerator running?
I say no right now. We rent right now. I think I mentioned this to a few folks, but we're
Yeah.
buying a house. We close in January, which is why the next meetup won't be the first week in January because I'm moving that week. But so we rent, and the people that we rent from, I was like, yeah, I think the compressor's up. So they have another fridge coming on Friday. They're like, a compressor is 2/3 the cost of a fridge. They might as well just not fuss with it. So we went out to eat, and I wanted to be able to get back in time for this. Eric, was it get workspaces or workflows?
Get workflows,
Okay.
workspaces. I don't. Yeah, I actually don't know.
I'm blanking right now.
Yeah, that was really interesting, though.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I had to drop off to go get my daughter, but let me see. Work tree. Get work tree.
Jesus Christ, I was close, but not there.
Yeah, I was off too.
So Luke, I told Pavlos this when he first joined. So the Eastern time zone has their meetup, and it's folks from like Boston and from Chattanooga, and I think a few other places, of course. They did a little demo of this Git work tree thing working in conjunction with DDEV. So like if you're working on one ticket, you don't want to use Git stash, you just flip over to this other work tree and it syncs with DDEV, and now you're in a different environment working on a different thing, and you can flip kind of back and forth between them without closing a ticket or even needing to make a commit or whatnot. That was an interesting thing. Let's see. So I think one of the other things, again, Pavlos and I talked a little bit before you both joined. When I first joined the Eastern Time meetup, I also talked a little bit about the Chattanooga camp. I think that was good. Their input was, as long as it's open source web stuff, we don't care, because like the Python and the Ruby people weren't really going out of their way to participate in it, so they didn't really worry about like spreading thin on topics or whatnot. And it sounds like most of the college kids right now are focused on JavaScript. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a huge, even though you can do like web development with, you name your thing, Java, Python, Ruby, there's a huge disconnect between um, languages.
yeah,
For some reason, even though they all use CSS or HTML or what, there's still like this, it's like little clicks, right? Which isn't surprising, but that's why I was suggesting we just kind of open it for more than Drupal, but more including the broader PHP community and the broader HTML community and
yeah,
all the things that Drupal does use might make um, sense for it.
yeah. I liked the idea of just still having an open source leaning at a bare minimum. Um,
I'm not opposed to.
but anyway, I think it was a good meetup. Um, let's see, other fun things, other fun things. So I don't know how many people I've told this yet, but I accepted a full-time position with a company called Megaport, which has nothing to do with Drupal whatsoever.
Mhm.
um, it is a business analyst role, which is what I mostly do. But with that, oddly enough, they're based in Australia, so there's going to be some
Oh,
interesting time zone fun things that I'm going to have to explore there. But they're starting a Vancouver-based team, which is part of the
oh,
reason why I'm joining. So that's going to be a little bit of a distraction. My wife asked me, "So are you still going to do Drupal?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still going to do Drupal. This is still my community. Um, I really enjoy doing that sort of stuff. But I still think, as far as the summit is concerned, that I'm going to try to get as much help as possible. I'll do what I
mhm.
can, but I don't want to like be the leader of any organization for that. So I've got to figure out how to really approach that. So I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know. I'll circle back to that, but that's at least where I'm landing right now. Is I don't want to overcommit myself and then put
sure.
anything at risk.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I've always kind of felt the same way with because I've helped, with DrupalCon at MidCamp and
Yeah,
um, the summit and stuff. But my main focus is with webcam.
yeah,
So I try and help as much as I can where I can, which is usually doing quick things on the website that need to be any updates or anything like that. But yeah, I get it. Um, Especially with a new job, you want to be more present
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure in
for
the
sure.
initial um, of it.
Plus with the move, so we're moving
Yeah,
January, so it's just a whole lot. Um,
You're coming a bit more towards the lower mainland.
oh, I am moving 15 minutes closer to the mainland. So not really,
Not
not
really.
really at all. We're moving to a place called Francis Peninsula, which is what they call a tidal island. So when the water's up, it's an island. When the water's down, it's a peninsula. It's also known as Beaver Island.
How do you find these places when you move there?
uh, so no, that's actually a good question. My wife and I came to BC in 2017, coincidentally, when the last Pacific Northwest Drupal Summit was in Vancouver. Um, it was during the winter, and we went like snowshoeing up on Grouse Mountain and stuff like that. We really enjoyed it. But I've been working with folks from BC since, I don't know, like 2011, something like that. So I've known a few people from BC. Then we came back during the summer in 2018 and went to Vancouver Island to visit one of our other friends. You know, went boating and enjoyed the typical like Vancouver Island summer fun. And then we went to Whistler too. So Sea to Sky High was absolutely gorgeous. So we left and we're like, how in the world do we figure out how to move here? We had no idea. Actually, another buddy of mine, Nick Hepner, he lived in Maryland and moved here in like 2016. So we'd seen another person from the US successfully do it. Then ImageX is a company that I worked with as a contractor. Then they hired my wife, and then they sponsored her to immigrate to Canada. So when we came here, we're like, all right, what do we want to do? So we sold our house in Baltimore. We lived there since like 2008 till 2022. So 14 years in the same house. And we weren't in a rush to buy another house. The market was pretty expensive at the time too. So we went to Port Moody and we decided to Airbnb hop. We're like, 2 months at a time, you never get to know a place. 6 months, you might hate it and just be there for half a year, or longer. Like if you're renting an apartment, it's usually like a year lease. We didn't want to do that, so we Airbnb hopped. So we started off in Port Moody, which is just east of Vancouver for anyone that doesn't know. That was good for the immigration process, setting up accounts and all that. And then we knew at some point we wanted to check out Vancouver Island just to kind of like get familiar with it. But our friends had gone on vacation here in Sunshine Coast, it specifically the area where we are right now in Garden Bay. And she loved it. She was like, this is like so your vibe. When we moved from Baltimore, I told myself I want serotonin, not dopamine. I want serotonin because it helps my ADHD to have that, but it takes time. So it takes trees or water or mountains, just nature, that sort of thing. So we found it here. We got away from the city. We really liked it, but we had booked 3 other places on Vancouver Island. So we stayed in Duncan and Lanceville and Courtney. So just going up the island 4 months at a time. It was gorgeous there, but they don't have fiber internet there. They do here. I don't want to use Starlink. I don't know. We really liked this place, and then we started trying to figure out like where are we gonna live. We thought about doing a tiny home, but that didn't work. And then we started house shopping. We found this like really awesome place right down the street from us. So when we move, we are literally putting our stuff in a truck in a car and going down the street 15 minutes from here. It's so stupid.
That's convenient though.
Yeah, yeah. I bought a truck. I guess that's another bit of good news. I bought a house, bought a truck, and got a job. My neighbor had an old F350. Like it's from 2001. It's old, but it's like the highly coveted Power Stroke 7.3 liter diesel. I mean, this thing can haul anything that I really need. I literally just wanted to get a truck so I can take my garbage to the dump because I didn't want to put my garbage in my car. But then he sold me a camper along with. So he sold me the truck for $5,000, and there's a camper that sits in the back of it. He's like, "Oh, I'll give you that for $1,000." So I bought that from him too. So now we can just go explore BC. Maybe when the US doesn't suck.
You're like a country song in reverse, right?
Right.
Getting all your stuff back.
I'm not losing my wife, not losing my dog, not losing my truck. Yeah, it is a country song in reverse. I might actually prefer that song, to be honest. I want to see people line dancing to that. So I guess the other thing I wanted to bring up, Eric and Luke, is the other topic that I think might be really cool is what is going to happen with Drupal in 2026. Pavlov's pointed out, Drupal Canvas, maybe we'll see a solid release of that. But what are your thoughts?
Hopefully tomorrow. Let's see.
Yeah, I thought before the end of the month they were supposed to have 2.0.
Yeah, they were saying tomorrow, but let's see.
But they
Yeah.
gotta finish 1.0.
I know.
You gotta finish your peas before you get dessert.
I don't know. I think AI, just like everything else, you know,
It,
which
yeah,
is fine. You know, I'm not completely against it, but it's a lot. It's,
it's
you know,
it's all the crypto bros having at it again. That's really what it. The
yeah,
crypto bros kind of calmed down and they were looking for the next thing. That's what they're doing. They're very excited with their new
yeah.
toy.
It's not, and it's like, you know, it's not sustainable.
No, no,
That
not at that
that
level.
much AI, you know, that fragmented ecosystem is,
I think the most disturbing thing is when you take a look at the amount of money on, say, the stock market and where that money comes from, and it's these absolutely enormous companies like, let's say, Amazon is one of the most enormous companies on the stock
yeah,
market, among some of the other obvious tech companies. The percentage of money that they're putting into AI is so much of their perceived value.
yeah.
It's absolutely insane. So what happens if that fails? Well, there's no major regulation or anything for these sort of things. Antitrust or monopoly, anything is just a fiction now.
Yeah. Yeah, that I mean, it's a lot of people are going to go out of business,
Yeah.
you know. It's
Well,
going to be
when
like the dot-com burst or bubble or whatever.
I
Because
remember that.
everybody, if you spend 5 minutes on LinkedIn, there's like, you know, scroll for 5 minutes and you're going to find at least 50 ads for AI companies that
Yeah.
just popped up,
It's
you
just
know, and like it's just not sustainable.
it's so hungry. Hey, Luke.
Look, you made it home.
Hmm.
How was your drive? I see the pantomiming, but I can't hear you.
I think for 2026, a lot of guess it's gonna depend on how Canvas lands for people.
Now we can hear. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right, so I'm here to defend the AI valuations.
Here he is.
Oh, Luke, did I
Counterpoint,
make
I
you run,
counterpoint.
drive faster
no
when
no
I
no
was talking
no.
about
But by the
it?
way, no, I agree with you actually on the whole thing. So like I think it was a perceptive statement. Whoever said that the AI bro, the crypto bros have now become the AI bros because I think that's absolutely true. I think that like chasing dollars and I think that crowd has moved to AI, but I think there's actually a large amount of genuine value within all these AI things that did not exist with crypto. I've still been trying to explain that, and the way. Well, first of all, I just know that I am like a superpower programmer now where I never was before. I mean I'm literally out there running 30-second miles and like, whoa, this is amazing. And trying to sort of figure out how that does. And I can actually explain it in a way that sort of will I think not be that divisive in a sense. I mean, what AI does is it allows unstructured programming. So like all the things that have been possible now for 50 years with like very, very specific, do this, do that, do that, do that. And this very like tedious building of these things that are super fragile and can break. Suddenly you get that same functionality fuzzier, like an AI program as it is not remotely as reliable as an actual constructed written program that you architected in C or Python or whatever. But you can make it in 100th of the time. So you've got it's like the junk bond of information technology, and it's this hugely powerful thing. It means that all the stuff that anybody has been like, I wish there was a computer program to do this, but like unless you've got 10,000 users for that thing, there's no market that justifies the effort to create stuff. Suddenly a market of one is all you need. If you want something, you can have a custom program created for it. And that is new and just insanely powerful. Like there's literally not a function on the planet that's not going to be, for the most part, improved. But it's certainly changed, right? It's super disruptive. But I think like subsistence farmers in Ethiopia are going to be like subsistence farming 50% better because of AI and like then like they might not use it, but like things that come to them use it, and you just the whole thing. So I think the world is about to become much more valuable. And so valuations, I'll be like, for the momentary like economics nerd, wear my MBA on my sleeve for this, because like valuations are funny because valuations aren't like what something's worth now. Valuations are the sum of what something's worth like forever, and because of discount rates, more than like 10 or 20 years doesn't really amount. But that's why like valuations are like seem like they're 10 times too high or 20 times too high, like somewhere between there, because it's not just like what's there now. It's not the value of the buildings. It's how much value is this going to bring this year, and then discounted next year, and discounted next year, going off into the future, smaller pieces. 100 years doesn't really matter, but like it's still a big enough multiplier, and you have exponential things. So $1 trillion valuations, as like crazy as that sounds, I think it's worth it. One final little rant though, like if you look at all the past revolutions like this, nobody is good at figuring out who is going to win, like where this is going to go. And it's not usually the big players beforehand. Like sometimes they can hold on, but almost always like the giant winners. Like at this point in the revolution, we don't know who that is. It's not necessarily OpenAI or Anthropic or NVIDIA or we don't know. It's too early. A lot of shit to come down. Who knows what the hell's going to happen? But it all slopes up like dramatically and crazily. Anyway, / rant.
No, I think all of us are going to have a perspective on this, and nobody can have all the perspectives at the same time.
I can't hear you, Chad, if you're talking.
Yeah, is that working?
Yeah, I can
No?
hear
Can anybody?
I can hear him.
Yeah. Yes. No.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it just
Maybe-
me? Maybe my headphones
Might
have
just be
gone dead.
I am not
Is it
crazy.
just Chad you cannot hear, Luke, or
Can you hear other people?
No, I
and now we cannot hear him?
Yes. Once you take it out of the ears, it's like, I'm going to disconnect today.
Yeah.
Yep. Still can't hear you. No. No.
Oh, technology.
Hmm.
So many audio sources. Nope.
We need an AI agent that fixes our audio issues.
Yeah,
Yeah. How about now?
I could
Yeah.
definitely
Yes.
use that on
Yeah.
Linux.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You can hear me now. All right. All right. All right.
Well, Bluetooth is probably one of the most user unfriendly hardware technologies that
Yeah.
exists, and it's surprising that Apple was able to get as far as they could with like AirPods and things like that. So
Oh yeah.
I do want to respond to the many things that you said, Luke, but I first want to say I appreciate your perspective. I don't think any of us are necessarily trying to be right, because who is right, right? It's not even we're not even taking bets right now, right?
Sure.
But with that in mind, I think so I think you touched on 3 points that I want to not even contradict, but kind of like compliment and contradict in some regards. So I think you're right in terms of like when I collaborate with other people, I don't find nearly as much success when it comes to saying, well, what do you think? That is like a lot of times there's an appropriate time to ask that question, no doubt, but instead sometimes it's, what do you think of this? So it's like I can tell you what my assumption is, and then you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, or we can go test it. That's fine. But starting from zero, like filling in a blank where there's nothing there, is a bigger challenge. So when you start with AI to write a program, you're not relying on the AI being right. You're not relying on the AI being secure. You're not relying on the AI programming to be efficient or anything like that. But it's not, you're not starting from zero. So totally get you there, especially anybody that has been a script kiddie, someone who basically Googles all the ways of writing a program, and I think all of us have been there. Having a place to start, it just leapfrogs you to the front of the line of being able to do something with programming, and that's a very empowering thing for any programmer is to do that. I think if you're talking about something that is on the opposite end of the spectrum, where safety is paramount, like I'm going to launch a rocket, or somebody's health monitor needs to rely on this software being functional, like you have to have a human being scrutinizing every stick, every line of what could go wrong with that code. But that's not what you're saying with AI. And I totally want to appreciate the value that you're finding in it. But also it's important for some of us in like security and health and things like that to really know when the AI has to kind of be put to the side, and then you have to really like be responsible for the outcome, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the bubble, the financial side of things, I think the part that Eric is talking a little bit about, I think we're old enough to remember the dot-com bubble burst. And I think on one hand, there was a big rush to the gold mine where a lot of people were investing big time in the internet, parking domains, starting up companies, that sort of thing, and they lost their shirts. I mean, this is the case when you went from horse and buggy to cars. You have a lot of people just chasing a thing like the gold rush, and then that gold will kind of settle down at some point. The internet has not gone away since the dot-com bubble burst. It's just matured.
Mhm.
So what will happen with AI is there will probably be a bubble.
Oh,
We don't
for
know
sure.
what size or what shape, but there will be a bubble, and we won't know the fallout until after that fallout's there. But AI won't go away as a result of that. We'll learn from that. We'll become more mature, and then the tool will finally realize its true form. You haven't seen my final form, that sort of thing.
Right. Right.
So I think as technologists, we're all appreciative of that honeymoon period that we're in with AI, and I think everybody should have both excitement and skepticism at the same time.
Yeah. Well, look, if I could freeze AI right now at like its current level, I would be completely happy. I'm able to do incredible things with it. If I could get it to just stop here, I'd be like, I can't get it to stop here. It's going to keep expanding. It's writing itself. It's doing things like that. and I and everybody else has no idea what the fuck is going to happen.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like we are living in the singularity right now, and the whole idea of the singularity was you can't see past it. Like all the things, all history, came to this moment, and there's stuff on the other side, but nobody knows what it looks like.
No. There. I don't know if you've ever listened to podcasts where they have there's a specific job title and it's a futurist. It's
Oh, I know. Yeah.
people who like really spend time thinking about science and how it's changed over time, and they're surprisingly accurate with their predictions.
Are they?
I surprisingly is the most optimal word that I can. I don't want to say they're like 95% accurate. That's not what I'm saying. What
I
I'm
mean, it's
saying
like
is
Ray Kurzweil, for example, would be an example of somebody that fits that mold, right?
I genuinely can't even think of any examples right now.
All right.
I guess all I'm saying is there are folks who pay very close attention to how humans are evolving, especially with technology, and what might that look like in 10, 20 years. And there's a lot of money, if nothing else, behind those speculations. So why not? Why not speculate? It's totally okay to be wrong. You can be the Jim Cramers of the world making completely bad calls on things, and yeah. And then later on somebody's rolling the YouTube video of you making a bad call 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Totally fine with that. But I think it is still an important thought exercise to say, how does this actually play out? How does this play out, especially as it touches our personal lives? Not just the speculation for company growth and
Well, like so the AI rant it was just me, instinctive. I actually have a thing that I want to talk about. It's on the other
what is it?
end of the spectrum,
What's up?
which is like the Drupal employment situation, and I have a particular proposal for it that interacts with this users group.
Okay.
Is I am currently scheduled. I've started the early processes of taking over the San Francisco Drupal users group, and making it a monthly online thing. And like from the exact opposite perspective of this, it like, whereas this is like a free flowing, unconference conversation. My thing is going to be like structured like a prison max, right? like it is going to run on time. It's going to have set things. It's going to have an agenda that won't be like strayed from. Like it's going to be hardcore. And part of that is actually because I've always been frustrated with videos from Drupal events. like they're always like this. All this information comes, and I've gone to look at the videos, and like they just kind of suck, really. So that's literally why I'm doing this. I'm setting up this whole thing because each month I want my output to be one fucking kick-ass video that captures some idea. I'm kicking off in January if all goes well with Matt Glomman.
Okay. Yeah, I know that.
Has agreed to come in and do it, and that gives me a little like star quality. I want to extend that. You guys are stars. I'll pull in. I've got a black book, which is enough to keep it. Given that no one has to go there, all you have to do is like commit to a half an hour Zoom meeting. I can create one of those a month, and that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, but that's all just the build up. The job board is the thing that I'm super excited about. Like I want to have a Drupal job board, and the main reason for having it as like part of like the San Francisco Drupal users group is really the Pacific time zone thing. Like when I'm looking for jobs, like Drupal jobs online, like 3/4 of them are pretty East Coast specific. They're like in Virginia or DC has a lot of things.
And
and these days about maybe 10% of them literally say like no Pacific Coast people, or East Coast only, or like they have
The East Coast
specific
bias, I think
biases.
they call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's one aspect. And then the other thing I want to try to fight is I find job postings to be this cesspool of misinformation that
Oh yeah.
really bugs me. I mean, I it's tailed off a little bit recently, but or maybe I've just like tuned it out. But I would get anytime like a Pacific time zone Drupal job opens up, I get a call from like 10 or 20 recruiters all struggling to do it. So and you see things where it's all obviously the same gig. And then you see things where they've been around for, the same postings have been around. So anyway, without listing all the crimes, I want to empower job seekers. I want to empower the consumers understanding to have more of a say on this. I want to, you know, try to shift that power dynamic a little bit
Yeah.
to make it more human.
What do you see this as something that would I want to use the right word, rekindle the jobs.drupal.org side of things?
Could
Or
be.
you think it's something else? Because I don't want to abandon solutions of old just because they're old.
Well,
And anything that can, if it's Drupal specific, anything that can go on Drupal.org, like that
well.
should be the first place that it's sort of like trying to rekindle
Oh yeah. No,
groups.drupal.org.
no, no, no. If I would be totally amenable to having any things that I do, having it like merged in or any ideas stolen from it. I just want something where I mean I want to envision because I don't want to have to get like committee approval for each wacky idea because I've got like 3 dozen wacky ideas that I want to implement, and it'll just take too long if I have to,
I think
get
that's
those voted
I
on.
think that's that might be why Nora put together her own version of a job board, but it was more of like an aggregation. So
Yeah,
like here's links to just other things that are in the Drupal sphere.
yeah. Well, no, that's my thing's definitely kind of a bureaucracy. Like
Yeah.
it'll only survive if it somehow brings value to the thing. So
Yeah.
it'll get tested in like 6 months, right? Like I mean, I've had ambitious ideas that haven't gone anywhere. So and those have died. Uh, but we'll see if yeah, I'll try it certainly for a few months. I mean, probably I'll probably try to scope out the users group for the first year. Um, and kind of plan that as like like a season, right?
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean, if you've got a users group as well, one thing we may have talked about this in a previous meetup. One thing that might be helpful is using that group as an instructional platform for newcomers. Invite newcomers to Drupal, that sort of thing, and say, "Hey, let's go build a Drupal site that focuses on, for example, jobs in Drupal." I
yeah,
mean, I think that might be something to consider.
yeah. Although, like I've tried that in the past and it hasn't gone that well.
Oh yeah.
So I'm more likely to employ my army of robot slaves. Um, and if humans want to join in and be robot slave masters, that's good too. Uh, I should use it. That phrase has too many negative connotations.
Yeah,
I'll try not. I'll try not
that,
to ever say that again.
that's dated. But if you want to bring some humor to it, just imagine the Simpsons when they had the iPods whipping all the humans with the iPod headphone cable.
Oh, wait, I don't know that one. I'll go look that. My
I I generally can't remember which Simpsons episode that was, but yes, the Simpsons did it.
my wife, if not the world's biggest Simpsons fan, and is within like shouting distance of it.
Yep.
So
She may know
uh,
the episode.
yeah,
The
yeah.
the iPods enslaved the
Like she's
the
definitively
nerds.
seen every episode multiple times. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's an older one, so more likely to have seen it.
Back when Conan used to write them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was a part of their writing crew. Yeah.
Yeah, he was head writer for like a few of the early seasons, not very long, but like seasons like 3 and 4, or something like that,
Oh,
somewhere.
this reminds me of this little morsel of trivia that sometimes people don't know. The Simpsons were born through the Tracy Ullman show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Just like was it Beavis and Butthead was born through Liquid Television, which was their whole. The same with Eon Flux and all that.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. Wow. It's a core memory you just unlocked there.
I can actually
Um,
go earlier than that because as a New Yorker, I was familiar with Matt Groening's comics
Oh, nice.
with, Life in
The
Hell.
the bunnies.
oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I knew that for 10 years before The Simpsons started, right? It was in the Village Voice every week.
And I think the real Springfield's in Oregon, if I recall correctly. They finally confirmed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you just drive down the street anywhere in Portland, you'll see all the names of all the characters everywhere on the street names and stuff.
That's fun.
The only reason I know how to pronounce Terwilliger Avenue is because of The Simpsons.
That's perfect. Oh, jeez. I haven't really done too much recently for DrupalCon, but I know that Nikki and a few of the folks are trying to get some momentum on just community efforts and making sure that underprivileged people can attend. That's basically as far as I've been with it, but I do want to see some along the lines of what you're talking about, Luke. I do want to see some more momentum in terms of supporting people with employment in the Drupal marketplace this coming DrupalCon, especially in the US, because the US is really, really suffering right now. I think it's actually perfect that it's in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited about that. I'm on the DrupalCon marketing committee.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
our next meeting is early, 7:45 tomorrow morning. So I'll be
That that's something I'm
yeah.
just trying to continue to promote is anything that can support job seekers and job creators in the Drupal marketplace, like at DrupalCon. I don't know if it's a
Yeah.
job fair. I don't know if it's just career coaches. I don't know what form it takes, but the only thing that Nikki kind of brought up that I thought was a good idea is having a sticker that says I'm hiring or a sticker that says I'm open to work. So that way
Yeah.
it's at least an invitation to have a conversation without being so intrusive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I do know one thing that probably will warm your heart a little bit.
Uh,
There's something called Drupal in a day,
yeah.
Yeah.
which is targeted at newcomers. It's free. It's all day. You even get lunch.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and it introduces. I think it's scheduled for the day before DrupalCon. I'm not quite sure, but I think that's probably it.
Oh, that's perfect then, because
And
it
and that's definitely
leads into
happening,
the
right?
rest of the conference.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's
that's on Monday, I guess, while everybody's getting set up.
yeah, I think so. I wasn't paying that, but it's definitely, you know, not speculative, happening,
It's happening.
Yeah.
Awesome.
being advertised, being supported, funded.
Yeah,
It's
we
it's
don't
happening.
want Drupal to age out as much as JavaScript and those solutions are getting attention. It still has a place.
Yeah.
And that's just not an old geezer saying that. I still think that the newcomers should be exposed to it so that way when they do need to solve problems, they can say, "Hey, I learned about this awesome thing, Drupal."
Yeah. Although I mean, the web is kind of aging out, right? Like we're all from the era where having a website was like the most important thing. That was the end all.
Oh
And
yeah, it's like your
there,
business card. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, those are fading out, right? Like that's I'm
It's
not
just
exactly sure where they're going.
changing shape. I mean, at the end of the day, I as an information architect, I think of it as like, where does the information live, and how easy is it for you to find what you're looking for? Before it
Yeah,
used to be a library. I mean, that was it for centuries,
yeah,
and it's just moved into
Yeah.
the digital world, and now things are moving so fast that there are real time systems. Like where's my bus, or what's the bus schedule, or I have a broken leg, I need an appointment somewhere. Who can triage me?
I guess this is where I kind of see Drupal having an edge over other frameworks, let's say, since it's so good with structured content.
Yeah.
Because I kind of agree with you, Luke, there, where websites are slowly becoming not obsolete, but less relevant, let's say, where you would pose a question to whatever AI bot you're using at the time of day, and it's whichever source of information can be considered the best, or the source of truth, let's say, that bot is gonna get its information from. So I think that's where Drupal is gonna go as well, as this system that is able to provide good structured quality data to all of these AI bots and agents that future us are going to be interacting with.
And trying to model complex data structures like that for certain types of people, like if I'm a marketer or even if I'm a developer, like modeling all that stuff in a raw database for an API to connect to some sort of interface, that's a bit of a chore.
See you guys later.
Oh,
I'm seconds away from departing myself, but I don't want to. This is I love doing shit like this, right? Like, I mean, if I could stop time and do this for like some interminable period of time, like I would.
You need a TARDIS.
Yeah.
A what?
A TARDIS.
TARDIS.
You haven't watched Doctor Who. That's
Doctor Who.
I haven't actually. I should probably binge that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a long going show.
You know, that's actually good. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a single episode of Doctor Who.
No. Well, you need a time machine, basically.
Yeah. Should I start at the beginning?
You can freeze time and go out and do whatever you want, and then just come back at the time where right after you left, basically.
That's literally the superpower that I would want, is stop time. I would use that.
But yeah, it's I think at some point or another we're gonna reach a point where either every site feeds its data into an AI bot or agent, or each site has their own. So, and that will be the way users interact with your company or something.
So it always boils down to how easy is it to enter information, because if you're not automatically generating it, if it does need to be entered, you need an easy way to do that. How do you organize it in a way that you can draw the relationships between things, like a sponsor for an event? There's a relationship there.
Right.
And then display that in a reasonable way that people can understand it and find it. And Drupal does all three of those things very well, very quickly. If you're building systems from scratch, you're having a lot greater penalties in one area, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think Drupal will have a big role as that system that provides this structured quality data.
I could definitely see a lot of CMSs falling off. Like when I first started getting into CMSs 18 years ago, obviously coming from a web background and getting into that, it was very important to be able to have that ability to organize information, structure it, and display it, because doing that beforehand was something either home built or static pages or name a thing, right? With the server side includes or something like that. And now you're looking at, and when I first started doing that, there were like thousands of these CMSs, and that's not all of them are going to get the same level of attention. but Drupal's been around now for what, 21 years, 24 years. Jesus, they came out 2001. Really
Yeah.
only gained popularity around what, 4.7, I think was the real major turning point for it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I first came in during 6, but I mean, my situation is I started building websites with databases in '96, and I just loved SQL. Like the structure. Like greatest thing for me was designing the schema for like what the site was going to do, and I put together, you know, 5 or 10, depending on how you count it, of my own CMS. So it's like that was what building a website meant is you fired up the database and you constructed a CMS, and then you built it around that. And then you know, I tried to get out of being a web designer by going to business school and trying to be a manager.
Here we are.
But then I wanted to be a product manager specifically. But then I graduated from business school just as the Great Recession started, and all the dot-coms had just fired half their product managers, and like no one wanted to hear from, like, you know, someone who wants to be a product manager or has never been one. So I was like, okay, well, fuck it, I got to become a web developer again, and I started thinking, you know, I'm going to build like the ultimate system, like rather than, you know, construct it all from scratch. I'm going to build like the system building system. And I thought, I was like, you know what? Somebody's done that already, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I looked around and looked at the different options and decided that Drupal was closest to my philosophy of all the ones I looked at.
And I think that's the recurring story in technology is you're going to always have folks who either don't know something exists and build it on their own, or they know something exists, but it doesn't work how they want it to, so they build their own. But then you'll have other people to say, you know what, this is close enough. I'll just modify it to be what I need it to be. And if you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you get so much of a savings. Like you take a look at any Linux-based system, or there's so many applications that do something so similar to something else. It's just
Right.
the way of technology.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to take off because dinner's ready, and I'll be in trouble if I'm late. But
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
have a good holiday season. If I don't talk to you before, but I probably will. See you.
Yeah. See you in January.
In January, if not before. Bye bye.
Awesome.
I was gonna ask him to not forget to send us the invite for his presentation thing that he's planning. But
Oh, right. I'm sure you can hit up on Slack though.
Yeah.
He'll be there. Cool. You know what? I may actually duck out now as well, just to wrap it up. But thanks for joining, man. It's always good to see you.
Good to see you too, Chad.
I'll try to kick the can around also with the summit a little bit more.
Right.
Awesome.
Thanks
All right.
very much. See ya.
Take care.